GNU that we're going to speak about. President Cyril Ramaphosa has reportedly or did convene that secret two-day meeting with the leaders of the political parties and the government of national unity. The Sunday Times said the gathering was set to wrap up today. Delegates were reportedly invited without a formal agenda and were reportedly instructed to keep the event private. But we ended up seeing quite a host of pictures of it, underscoring the sensitivity of some of those discussions. A governance and leadership expert, Professor Mazwe Majola, joins us now for some conversation around this. Professor Majola, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it. What did you make of this? It was apparently meant to be secret. It ended up not being secret, as we could all tell, really. But again, signifying just how disjointed the GNU might be.
Oh, okay. and good morning to you, Arabile. Thank you, sir. No, it's a good thing. I mean, the president must be commended. If you're a leader, you've got to monitor situations, reflect, and do something about it if there's anything that has to be done. So if he has convened the GNU leaders meeting, that's a good thing. They must go out there and reflect and introspect and discuss in terms of what is happening in the country and what is happening in the GNU. So the GNU was always expected that it was not going to be a walk in the park, because, as we always said, it consists of different leaders from different political parties, coming from different backgrounds, values, cultures, leadership styles, policies, goals, priorities. So it's not easy to pull together all these leaders while they are pushing government agenda. At the same time, they have to serve their own constituencies, more especially as the local government is approaching. So you are going to see this moving forward, where there's this tensions and differences between government of national unity leaders, whereby they are expected to follow the government policies and rules and processes. But at the same time, they're coming from their own their own constituencies, where actually even those policies may differ with what the government's policies now. So it must be expected. We're going to see it. What is important is dispassionate and level-headed leadership amongst them, so that whatever differences they have, they are able to manage them.
Prof, was it naive of us to expect there to be a, shall we say, jointed or a GNU that felt together? Purely when you think of it offhand, the Bella Act, Land Act, BEE have always been stumbling blocks and issues that they've certainly had a divide on. Was it a bit naive for us to expect things to be better? And does it mean that at this stage, we do have a few irreconcilable fragmentation between the GNU that can't be brought back together?
Well, it's a clash of expectations, Arabile. So as a society and community, the citizens of the country, we're expecting a well-run government, smooth, coordinated, united. But at the same time, yes, it would have been naive to think that really now all these people must just put aside their policies, because, as you are saying, they serve different constituencies, and now they have to convince those constituencies that even though we are in government for this forced marriage, which is the government of national unity, however, we still respect and serve our people, our constituency, and especially those people who voted for us. So that would have been naive. It's important that they are united, but we must always remember that unity does not mean uniformity, and unity does not mean conformity.
Sure. Do you think this was a rebirth of some sort of consensus of of politics here, knowing that, yes, there are differences, but how we relate to each other, how we speak to each other, how to avoid what happened with the budget earlier this year doesn't happen again, whether it be with the MTBPS or next year heading into the budget again?
It really talks to, as I said, high-level leadership, short leadership, where in the midst of differences, these leaders are able to go back and report and convince their constituencies why are they doing what they do, while also they continue to implement the policies of the government. So remember, it's not like the unions. The unions, they have to go back and find and get the mandate and come back when during negotiations they say no, but our members say this and go back and forth. So these ones, people are there. They voted for them. They trust them that this is our leaders. But now and then, obviously, they will have to take their constituencies into confidence that, yes, we are implementing the government policies. However, we do stick and we are still continuing with our policies that we promised you or you told us to implement as your leaders.
Yeah, but how did the likes of the Democratic Alliance, which is the second biggest leader within the GNU then, how does it continue to say that the GNU serves its interests, whether it be its constituency or its leaders, and yet it continues to not get its way, so to speak, within the GNU? How does it continue to ratify that decision to stay within the GNU?
It's not an easy journey. It's not an easy road. I mean, as leadership students, we always say leadership is a journey. It's not a destination. So in this journey, we'll always be confronted with different problems and different crises. And that's where great leaders rise during those crises and make things happen. Because DA has always been the official opposition party. And what they know is to criticize the government, is to provide alternative policies to what government is doing. So all of a sudden, now they're in government and they've got to work with government and work with or implement the policies that they don't like or don't agree. So while they do that, at the same time, they've got to push that alternative hand and say, look, we're in government, but we must also serve our constituencies. Our constituencies don't like these policies. So these will be the policies that we want. So it's not an easy thing, as I said. It really needs that majority, and hopefully amongst them all as GNU leaders, that they will find each other and understand and compromise, because that's a key word here, big word, compromise. Not only DA, but also ANC must compromise as well, because even ANC, while they're in government, but they're still servicing its own constituencies, So they've not stopped. They're still meeting the members. They're still discussing issues. So that's why they must also understand when other political parties or leaders are doing that within the GNU.
So how do we ensure that the I don't want to call it the less significant parties, but all the other parties within the GNU actually have their purposes served too, whether it be the Patriotic Alliance or others as well in all of this, FF Plus, etc. How do we ensure that their interests are also best served here? How do you think the ANC continues to do that? Because despite everything, while it is the GNU, a lot of people may step back and still say, this is still an ANC-run government.
It's very important to respect each other. There was a time when, I think a few months ago, when PA wanted to pull out, but I understand Ramaphosa tried to speak to them and try to solve the problem or the issues there or differences. So that's what is needed. There shouldn't be any insignificant or small party because all of them are important. It's like a system. System is built on different parties. And there are those who have parties who are visible and others are not seen. But those are not seen, they are very, very important because they can affect those who are seen. So there's no insignificant part
Prof,
within the system.
what breaks this down?
I didn't catch you there, Arabella.
What would break the GNU, you think?
The success or the survival of the GNU hinges on majority leadership, on high-level leadership, on dispassionate leadership, on compromise, discuss, and also remember and acknowledge and appreciate that you've got differences. You are coming from different parties. Therefore, try to find each other, always compromise. There's no one who must be above the other, but all of you try to find a way of compromising, and that will assist. We still have a long way to go. Remember, 2029 is still, or rather, still a long way to go. So they really need to try to find each other. It's going to be worse. Or these differences and tensions are going to manifest more as we're approaching the election. That is where the test will be, and that it will require that majority leadership.
A lot of jostling, a lot of work, and a lot of conversations need to be had here as we continue to see the fragility of that GNU. But for now, it definitely stands. Professor Mazwe Majola, thank you so much for the time.